is still morning, I believe. Welcome to Louisiana Tech and our Integrated Engineering and Science Building for an announcement that will be transformational not only for our university and the city of Ruston, for the state of Louisiana and our nation. We appreciate all of you coming today to celebrate this momentous occasion for Ruston and Louisiana Tech. Everyone in this room is a VIP as you look around, but I'd like to take a brief moment to acknowledge a couple of folks, some of who you will hear from later. Governor Jeff Landry and our First Lady Sharon Landry, thank you so much for being here. The Secretary of Louisiana Economic Development, Ms. Susan Bourgeois. Our Congresswoman representing Louisiana's 5th District, Congresswoman Julia Wetlow. We have Speaker Mike Johnson, Chief of Staff, Ms. Ruth Ward. We have several legislators in the room. I'll ask them to please stand and be acknowledged. Appreciate our Lincoln Parish legislators, Senator Jane Morris, Senator Stuart Cathy, Representative Rashid Young, and of course our alumnus of the year, Representative Chris Turner. We have Ruston Mayor Ronnie Walker and his wife Kay. Jim Henderson and our First Lady, Ms. Tanya Henderson. President of the University of Louisiana System, Dr. Ray Gallo. Also our Board of Supervisor members, Mr. Steve Davison, Mr. Barry Basada, Ms. Liz Pierre. Also, we have many city and parish officials, our Louisiana Tech Foundation board members, our economic development partners, who have all joined us today. Thank you so much for being here. To start off our program, please welcome the chairman of the Louisiana Tech University Foundation, a 1983 graduate in petroleum engineering, Mr. Tim Cutt.
Good morning. What an exciting day. When we were just standing here waiting for this to start, you could just feel it. This is a really momentous day. And on behalf of the Louisiana Tech Foundation Board, I am pleased to join Cammie in welcoming each of you to this very historic day. The board views this as an inflection point for the foundation as we look for new and innovative ways to support the financial health and growth of the university. I would like to personally thank Bill Bailey and Radiance for presenting this incredible opportunity. I would also like to acknowledge the Finance and Executive Committee of the board for being open-minded from the start and putting the time to deeply understand and provide the governance and oversight required to ensure that we always meet the intent of our loyal donors. Finally, thanks to Baby Norris, Lisa Bradley, Justin Cavalier, Adam McWhort, and the rest of the foundation staff for their perseverance in getting this important agreement across the line with multiple stakeholders. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce the governor of the great state of Louisiana, Jeff Landry. Governor Landry's leadership is rooted in a deep commitment to Louisiana and a career dedicated to public service. A veteran of Operation Desert Storm, a former police officer, and successful small business owner, Landry went on to serve as U.S. Congressman and Louisiana Attorney General before being elected governor. As governor, Landry has prioritized pro-growth policies, moving Louisiana's economic outlook from 31st to 18th in just over 1 year. In his first year, he enacted the historic tax cuts for Louisianans, which helped to bring in over $50 billion in investments to this state. Governor Landry has led major education reforms, championed law enforcement, and advanced criminal justice reforms aimed at accountability. Please join me now in giving the governor a very warm Ruston, Louisiana welcome.
Thank you. It really is guys for having me sit here. You know, they say that one of the biggest tasks that the governor has is putting fires out. I think this weekend seemed to take the cake after, I don't know if y'all saw the news of what went on down around Hammond and Roselawn. We did a pretty big fire, and so we've kind of been dealing with that. And so certainly my apologies, but the fire is out. Now we get to light a fire and a bunch of people over here make some great things happen in North Louisiana, right? Look, I first again want to thank the legislators that are here today. I would be remiss if I didn't take every opportunity we had to let the people of this great state know the great things that are absolutely going on. Because what we are doing today is a reflection of the great work that we've done over the last 18 months. And for a lot of people, it's hard for them to really wrap their head around how much we have done and how fast things are going. Like, I'll give you an example. Tim just mentioned that we had $50 billion worth of investment. And that's not true. We've got $70 billion worth of investments. And this is just going to continue. Having Radiance here and this an announcement that we're making today starts to add up into it. And look, my projection, and you know, 18 or more than that, about 24 months ago, people in North Louisiana thought I was crazy when I asked them to vote for me, and I promised them that we would bring economic activity to North Louisiana, likes of which they had never seen. And I'm glad that they took me up on it and didn't throw me out or thought maybe they just used to voting for people who lied to them. I thought I was. But, you know, we did that. I mean, the project that's going on over in the corner, the northeast corner of the state, over in Ruston Parish, really becomes an anchor. It tells the world that Louisiana is absolutely open for business. It makes people like Bill Bailey feel comfortable about the investments that they're making here today. And guess what? It means we get to have so much more. What's really exciting about today is that we're starting to see a vision that we laid out to our Board of Supervisors and the Board of Regents and all of those who govern higher ed in this state. We want our universities to focus on the businesses and industries that built this state and that want to come to this state, and so that those universities help to become incubators for creating job growth. Because ultimately what that does is keeps our kids here. And it attracts people to Louisiana so that we can finally quit the outward migration problem that has plagued this state for over 30 years. It is a result of a one-team slogan that we started at the beginning of this term. And so again, I want to give another round of applause to the legislators that are here today. Really and truly. Because we've worked them hard. You can't tell. They've got to go back in before the end of the year, just for a short period of time. She'll give you all the instructions. Don't you worry. But again, this $370 billion investment by Bill Bailey, where's Bill at? Bill, thank you so much, really and truly. I got to tell you, and he's a boy from Alabama coming to Louisiana. I mean, that's where you are, Birmingham. Is that what it is? It's okay. We acknowledge that. When you come here and invest $370, we really don't care where you're from. But it's real special when you come from Alabama. But I tell you this, what he is investing in and what Tech is doing here really is going to give us cutting-edge technology. It is going to start to do what President Trump has continuously tried to do. It is America first program, wanting to reshore, wanting to bring domestic manufacturing and especially those vital components that we need in our supply chain. COVID showed us how fragile this country was. This country was never built to be this fragile. We were always the leading edge in the world. We were always the country under which everyone else looked to send them some of the greatest innovations of our time. And over the next decade or so, doing the things that Bill and them are doing here, we are showing the world again and again that America can lead, and guess what? We now get to lead it out of Louisiana. This project is going to bring 150 permanent jobs, just this one project, with an average salary of over $85,000 apiece. And that's just the beginning. I want you to understand this. This gives us, it's like a seed. You plant it, you water it, you fertilize it, and it continues to grow. And every time we stack up these types of jobs, it starts to drive the average family income in this state higher. And the higher we drive the average family income, the better and brighter Louisiana becomes. So again, I just want to thank everyone from Louisiana Tech who has worked diligently on this. I want to thank Bill. I want to thank Susan Bourgeois. Poor Susan. They drag her from one end of the corner to the other. Maybe me, but it really is her and her team. How about a round of applause to them? But really and truly, the ability for us to have success here comes from a one-team approach. It comes from having great people. And look, I can tell you, Susan would not have the tools that she has today if the legislature wouldn't have had the confidence and faith in us to be able to reorganize that department. We said we were going to do that. We did it. They helped us, and this is the results of that. And so again, it is a great day. And look, I love coming up to North Louisiana. It seems every time I go, people say, I can't believe you're coming back up to North Louisiana. I'm like, well, what did other governors do? Like, this is a great place. Where's Greg Gilbert? I just saw him. The press. Where's that? Crazy man. He left. Oh, he's around the corner? Where's the press at? As long as the press keeps writing good things about me, I'll keep coming. But again, I just want to thank the Louisiana Tech community and let everyone know here in North Louisiana that this is only the beginning. That Louisiana is getting ready to lead in a new industrial South. And we are finally taking our place where we belong, which is number one. God bless you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Governor. It truly is an honor to have you in Ruston today. So on to Mr. Bailey. He already got a shout out, but Bill Bailey earned a degree in electrical engineering from Louisiana Tech while stationed at Barksdale Air Force Base, serving our nation during a 14-year military career. He has been at Radiance Technologies since 2001, where he serves as Chief Executive Officer. Radiance is a $200 million, 100% employee-owned company with its core business in developing advanced technologies, integrating systems, performing technical intelligence, and providing engineering services to the Department of Defense, Armed Services, intelligence agencies, and others. Here at Louisiana Tech, we talk a lot about loyalty. We wear loyal blue on Fridays, and our alums are said to be ever loyal. Bill Bailey is the embodiment of that characteristic we hold so dear. Please welcome CEO of Radiance Technologies, Mr. Bill Bailey.
Thank y'all. It's a little overwhelming. There's a lot of people. When I look around this room, I think everybody in this room
some form. I think this project, the community is supported, the state supported, the university supported. I can go on for days about the people I've talked to about this project and all the people that have made phone calls, who have written letters, who have endorsed various types of requests for the CHIPS Act and those kinds of things in order to make this happen. So when it comes to thank yous, I don't have enough time to say thank you to everybody, but I do appreciate, there's a couple of people I call out. Go, thank you for your trust. Okay, because we made some commitments, some bold commitments, and you believe, and you've been willing to put the money up in the funds to do this. Same thing with you, Secretary. We appreciate y'all. But what we're trying to do here is build an ecosystem, and this is the first step of that ecosystem. We're building a chips production facility, and that's what this mark is focused on. But over here is the ability to manufacture chips. But what we're also doing as part of this $375 million investment is developing the whole ecosystem, the research and development, the engineering, the field service engineering, the solutions development, those things to support this whole chips. Secure microelectronics for the Department of Defense. And it's chips first, and then we'll move on to other things. Once we get this, once we get this started, then we'll bring other companies in. I told the governor, I've told Julia, I've told Neil, if you help me with this one, and I can point to it and say, there it is, then I can leverage a 46-year Rolodex to get other companies to believe that the place for them to manufacture and grow is in Louisiana. So we're doing the whole thing. This has been one, so we do business in 20 different states. And Kenny, you got to overthink it, we're a $500 million company, okay? So we've grown substantially in the last few years. But this is, and I've been involved in a lot of public-private partnerships. And I'll tell you, this is the best one I've ever been involved in. It's also been the most comprehensive one I've ever been involved with. It's involved the state. It's involved the city of Ruston. It's involved components from Shreveport, John George, and the BRF. It's involved the university, the foundation, private-public partnerships, Tunica, Biloxi, multiple universities. For workforce development. And so it's been a very complex public-private partnership that we've cobbled together here in leverage. And I think this is the best it's ever been out of all places I've ever done business. So thank you for that. This is also a point that kind of, as you sit back and reflect, this is a point where a milestone where multiple journeys have kind of intersected to create something of value that will transform this region, the university, as well as Radiance. And I want to speak to a few of those, but the one thing that is consistent across all these journeys is the state of those, is it started with a vision that had purpose, and people that were passionate about that vision. And then it led to that passion wanting to create opportunities that lead forward and make the investment. And that's the one thing you've seen from the state, you've seen it from the university. We at Radiance like to think we have that. And so there's been such an alignment in these things. But in that journey, it started in Louisiana when you guys decided you wanted to invest in the high-tech industry, and you put the incentives in place to do that. There is no place in this country that's more willing to lean forward and invest in high-tech industry recruitment than Louisiana, and y'all should be proud of that. It's Louisiana Tech. When Louisiana Tech decided 30, 40 years ago that they wanted to be the leader in nanotechnologies and MEMS technologies, and they made the investments into IFM and stuff, man, that was vision. And this kind of led to this point in time. And so here's an interesting thing. This secure microelectronics, the first partnership between Radiance and Louisiana Tech and the IFM was 20 years ago. In 2005, we got an SBIR. And then we've grown that just systematically as a company and with the university support to get to the point where we're at right now. Along the way, it's been nurtured. So as part of that partnership, the federal delegation has played in that. So once we got scale, we went to Rodney Alexander, and we said, Rodney, if you could help us with a little bit of investment, we could scale this thing and kind of get it going. And then sequestration and a few things came along and got off track. But nonetheless, it caught scale, and we've been rolling that, and we're continuing to roll that. And so there's another vision that has paid off nicely for this. And your vision to make Ruston something special, that's played in on this. I'll never forget, as long as I live, and I'll cherish the memory of the phone call that I got from Adam, where you're standing on the street outside of Mary Landry's house, I think, and you said, hey, Bill, can we do something with chips in Ruston, Louisiana? And so here we are. And then I want to talk about the Radiance journey. Okay, here's something, Governor, I grew up in Alabama, but I was raised in Alabama, but I grew up here in Louisiana. I'm a proud Louisiana Tech grad. I love to tease those people in Alabama and tell them not everybody can be blessed with going to a good school. Some people are wrong. Okay. But here's something most people don't know. The founder of this company grew up in the slums of New Orleans with alcoholic parents who got a scholarship because he was a smart kid and worked hard to the Catholic school system in New Orleans. He graduated Jesuit High School in New Orleans. He went to Tulane and got his undergrad. And then he moved off because of the brain drain that we've all been talking about. He went to Georgia Tech, got his PhD, went to George Washington, got his Juris Doctorate. And then he came to Austin and founded the company. But nonetheless, our founder, woven in his DNA, is Louisiana, pure and simple. Okay. Number 2 CEO, that's me, Louisiana Tech grad. Okay, my journey. This is the thing that makes me kind of proud. When I came to Louisiana, I was a 17-year-old high school dropout with a pregnant wife and a baby on me. So the deck was stacked against me. And I've always said, and when I left 7 years later, I had a college education and had all the building blocks. I had been matured, my wife and I had been nurtured, and we were ready to go take on the work. I came from a family, nobody ever graduated from college. Nobody ever dreamed of going to college. Certainly nobody ever dreamed of being the CEO of halfdone.com. And I always said, God put me in Louisiana for a reason. Okay, that community in Bossier City and Barksdale, they looked at us, I'm convinced of this, they looked at Sharon and I and they said, they're not smart enough to have a child. And so they collapsed around us and they nurtured us and they taught us how to be parents and how to nurture a baby. Those NCOs at Barksdale, they put a boot up my butt. They taught me the discipline that I needed to be able to succeed. And then, when I decided to get my GED and start college, there was this university that taught math, physics, and chemistry at Louisiana, at Barksdale. People would drive from over here to over there so that us airmen could have a good education. And I started school over there. And 7 years later, when I left, like I said, I had all the skills, all the discipline, and all the education and intangibles it took to be able to get here. So I live in, I've told Julia this many times. I live in Alabama. My heart belongs to Louisiana. The thing that I want to say in closing is, thank y'all for trusting us. Thank y'all for investing in Radiance, as well as all of us, me personally. And we're going to make this good. And it's going to lead something much, much bigger than just Radiance. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Hackman, well on our way to Happy, gotcha. Gotcha. That's what I said. Okay, thank you. So, moving on, Congresswoman Julia Letlow, represents Louisiana's 5th Congressional District and is the state's first Republican woman elected to Congress. She took office in April 2021 and serves on the House Committee on Appropriations and on the House Committee on Education and the Workforce, 2 committees near and dear to our heart here at Tech. A mother and educator, she has dedicated her life to promoting and advocating for higher education in Louisiana. Please welcome Congresswoman Landry.
Goodness, I'm so excited to be here this morning, and I'll just call myself a cheerleader. I mean, I can't, that's a hard act to follow, Bill, but I am so incredibly grateful for this day. And I gotta tell you, Governor, I think we should put the map to it. I don't know of any governor in the past who has ever been up to North Louisiana as much as you have. And I have to tell you, you don't just come up here to give fancy speeches. You come up here to make announcements that are going to be transformative for North Louisiana. You made a promise to us, promises made, promises kept. So let's give it up for our governor. You know, I'll never forget the first time I had the honor of breaking bread with Bill Bailey. It's a dinner I will never forget because he laid out a vision for North Louisiana, and you shared your story with me that night. I'll never forget this either. He said, Julia, last night I was reading your dissertation. I said, what? Who reads people's dissertation? I mean, that is prep for a meeting. But he said, we have something in common. You want to do purposeful work, and I want to do purposeful work. And I think together we can accomplish just that. Mr. Bailey, you've done that today. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us. You can hear that it's a ministry, it's a calling, it's more than just purposeful work. It is transformative work, and you will change lives for many, many years to come. We're so grateful to you. Dr. Henderson, wow, what an incredible university. You know, I may have lost Louisiana Tech. I feel like y'all got upgraded. You have the Speaker of the House now as your representative. But you know Louisiana Tech will always have my heart. You and I have shared many conversations about public-private partnerships. That is the answer to transform our state. We are leading the way. Louisiana Tech for years has been leading the way in this department. When you bring companies like Radiance in, and you have your students and your faculty fall in love with a company like Radiance, and they work for them, and they fall in love, and guess what? The best part of that is they stay here, and they marry here, and they raise their families here, and become productive citizens for the state of Louisiana. Y'all, we are leading the way in Louisiana, but beyond, in the country, and I'm so grateful for all that you're doing right here at home at Louisiana Tech. Thank you, Dr. President Henderson. That's all I've got. With that, I will turn it back over to Cammie. But again, just so incredibly grateful to be a small part of this. Wow, and it's so great to be back home in North Louisiana. God bless y'all.
So glad to have you back home. Okay, for more than 3 decades, Ronnie Walker has devoted himself to building a better future for Lincoln Parish, Louisiana Tech, and the city of Ruston. Elected to the city's highest office in 2014, Mayor Walker maintained his commitment to realizing economic growth for our city and region. He is Louisiana Tech's greatest ally and is a key component in what is the nation's greatest relationship between a city and a university. His warmth, optimism, and vision serve us well, and it is my honor to introduce our dear friend of Louisiana Tech University, Mayor Ronnie Walker.
Wow, what a day. Incredible. Thank y'all for being here. This is unbelievable. This 4-year journey we've been on, we're there. Governor, thank you so much for your commitment to North Louisiana. Not just a commitment, but in my opinion, historic levels of commitment to all of North Louisiana. We appreciate you. Continue the good work. I also want to thank you for hiring or appointing, whatever you want to call it, Susan Bourgeois to lead LED. Incredible job that she does. We just appreciate so much the support that we get from Baton Rouge. Thank you so much. You know, when I look back, Julia has been our congresswoman for a long time, and she still is, even though the map might not draw it that way. But Julia, thank you so much. You've always been there for us on every project that we even talked about. And Adam Terry, who's our lobbyist in D.C., and James Davison and Kay and I were in D.C. Bill, you took half my speech, but I'm going to repeat it a little bit. We were in D.C. meeting with Julia and other congressional folks, and literally on the streets walking from Mary Landry's office to the Capitol. And my wife was in high heel shoes, and she hadn't forgiven me this day for that. But I looked at Adam and I said, Adam, there's going to be a bunch of CHIP money. We need to get some of that. And he literally pulls his phone out, punches it in, and said, Bill, you need to talk to Ronnie. And that's how all this started 4 years ago. Bill, thank you. You have always loved Louisiana Tech. You've always loved Louisiana. I know you love Ruston also. Just thank you for what you do and for this great announcement today. We cannot talk about Louisiana Tech and Ruston without talking about partnerships. For the last decade anyway, we've had an incredible partnership with the university. Part of that was Tech Point 2, Dr. Henderson, is Davey called me one day and said, hey, we're a little short. We think the city can help us on some funds. And I thought, there's no way we can, but let's look at it. We did. We committed $1 million to the city council, which I believe John Denny and Bruce Sigmund, who may be here, Carolyn Page, Melanie Lewis, and Andrew Mayfield all voted in favor of doing that. Why did we do that? Because that was jobs. And we knew there would be jobs coming. Radiance will be actually located in a 37-acre secure business park that the city will own and donate land for each building that goes there to the foundation, Louisiana Tech Foundation. So this is a huge day for Ruston. It's a huge day for North Louisiana. Governor, thank you for being here. Dr. Henderson, thank you for all you do. And Bill Daly, we love you. We appreciate you. Look forward to great things happening here in Ruston. Thank you.
To conclude our program, it's my honor to introduce President Jim Henderson. Dr. Henderson took office at Louisiana Tech in January 2024. His ties to the university go back more than 80 years, when his father, Clem, was recruited to play football here. Earlier this year, Louisiana Tech released a bold vision for the future, to be the exemplar public institution of scholarship, teaching, and experiential learning. The university will champion leading-edge research that addresses enduring and emerging local and global challenges, engaging in innovative partnerships that foster economic growth and vitality. Today's announcement embodies that bold vision that will allow us to own our calling. Please welcome the 15th President of Louisiana Tech University, Dr. Jim Henderson.
What a pleasure, Governor. My wife is from Gaydon in Vermilion Parish, and she said it's so nice to hear someone speak the King's English in the proper way. Thank you so much for being here. Earlier today, several of us met with Secretary Bourgeois, and we talked about the importance of presence. Folks, presence matters. Your presence here today matters to our legislators. None of this work is possible without you. Thank you for being present today. To my boss, Rick Gallo, thank you for making the drive up. Rick and I can't live in Lincoln Parish at the same time. So when I came to here, he went to Baton Rouge, and I know that drive well. But thank you for being here. To our board members, your support is everything to us. We appreciate you being here. I have to say something about the governor real quick. You can get caught up in politics and social media snaps if you want to. That's fine. It's actually entertaining. When you start thinking about substance, that's when substantive leaders make a difference. And I first met Governor Landry when he was the Attorney General. And we worked together on a major case about federal overreach. It was one of the great moments in my professional career to get to listen to him, to get to work with him, to get to understand him, and be part of a winning team that won that case. And so, Governor, when we came to you with this idea, the thoughtful questions that you asked after about 10 minutes of explanation, the insightful recommendations you gave to us, and the charge and the leadership that you gave to Secretary Bourgeois allowed us to bring this to fruition. And that requires thoughtful leadership that sometimes can get obscured in the press. And I just want to thank you for being a thoughtful leader for Louisiana. It matters. work that you're doing for Louisiana that sometimes doesn't get officially recognized. And first ladies of universities know that quite well, so Ms. Tanya knows that too. But thank you for being here, and all of you, we appreciate your work. Listen, the greatest asset Louisiana Tech has is our location in the most idyllic college town in Louisiana, the city of Ruston. And it is one of our recruiting advantages, it's one of our vision advantages, it's one of our abilities to really fully realize our mission. We could not have a better partner than our mayor and his wife, Kay. So thank you, Mayor, for being here. It matters. Folks, this is going to be a fundamental change to the economy of North Louisiana. From BRF on the west to now the Meta on the east, this I-20 corridor is an economic hub. We had the principals from Meta on campus in Tech Point 2 for lunch, and it was a great lunch, great conversation, but then we sent them over here to work with the faculty of the College of Engineering and Sciences at Louisiana Tech, and they came back and said, you know, they're not doing this kind of work at MIT. That's how advanced the work is here, and I know Colin Wick is here. He's our Dean of the College of Engineering and Sciences, and together with all of our deans and academic operations of this institution, it's truly world-class work that's going on here at Louisiana Tech, and so proud to be a part of that. This is just the very beginning. As we diversify this economy, as we diversify our operations and form more public-private partnerships that bring the resources here for us to continue to build this institution, we're going to have a lot of these announcements, so please don't get tired of it. The president says, don't get tired of winning. He says, you're going to be tired of winning. That's certainly the case here. This is the first of many, and I'm so excited about that. You know, 2 years ago, we brought the Lady Texters and the Bulldogs basketball teams to Huntsville to play in the Conference USA tournament. And we'll have one more time in the Conference USA tournament, then we'll be in the Sun Belt tournament. And Governor, don't get mad at us when we whip up on the Cajuns a lot, but it's going to happen. But until that time, we went there, we had a reception at the headquarters of Radiance Technologies in Huntsville. And Bill Bailey, of course, opened his doors, as he would expect from any tech alum, and he introduced us to a company that is doing groundbreaking work. And we got to meet a lot of people working there. I met so many Louisiana Tech graduates from engineering who are working for Radiance Technology in Huntsville. That's probably my favorite thing about this announcement, is those engineering graduates from Louisiana Tech will be able to work in the city of Ruston, a place to help recruit them to this institution, and they will be taxpaying members and leaders contributing to a better Louisiana. Bill, you embody the phrase, ever loyal be. We can't thank you enough. We can't thank you enough for your investment in us. Folks, this is going to lead to investments in research, investments in workforce development, certainly putting more money in this local and regional economy. We're going to be receiving dividends for this for generations to come. Many more projects on the way, but you were the first to help us start this, what is the first of many such announcements. Folks, what an incredible day this is for this institution, for the city of Ruston, for all of North Louisiana. I thank you all for coming out and celebrating this with us today. Hope you'll come back Saturday night when we get to face the Lions from Southeastern, and then come with us the next Saturday night when we go down to a little stadium in Baton Rouge. We prepare to shock the world. My son-in-law from Miami sent me a special cigar that was hand-rolled by Raul Castro himself that I'm going to smoke it in midfield after that. Seriously, Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here. Legislators, everyone associated with it, Louisiana Tech University Foundation, thank you for the vision to accept this first of its kind partnership. It matters. It matters. Folks, please enjoy and celebrate this today. Go Dogs.